SRO Magazine, your number one source for music and entertainment news and interviews. SRO.
Hello, SRO Nation. This is your metal journalist, B-Mac, coming to you, and we got a great interview set up. We are talking with the drummer of an upcoming metal band called We Gave It Hell out from Las Vegas, Nevada, and he is gracious enough to speak with us and talk about the group and what their plans are for the future. So please help me welcome the drummer from We Gave It Hell, Parker Adsit. Hey, Parker.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good, just relaxing at the moment.
Yeah, we can all use those right now. I understand that you guys just did a show in Arizona last night. How did that go?
We did. It went really well. We played. We had to open up All Stars tour in Phoenix yesterday. It was good. It was really hot and sweaty, and but we got a good response from everyone and met a lot of people. And so yeah, overall it went really well.
That's awesome. I just finished listening to your new EP, The Conditioning, and I was blown away. It's really good.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. You guys got a little bit of a Deftone melody in there, mixed with a little bit of a Pantera groove, and you also bring in that screeching metalcore sound from groups like Bring Me the Horizon, Born on Osiris, and, of course, Bullet for My Valentine. Was that your whole goal in the beginning, to mesh those styles all together?
Well, when we kind of just write, our guitar player does the majority of the writing, but we write kind of just what we think sounds cool. We listen to pretty much everything. I mean, I listen to anything from like John Mayer to like Whitechapel or really, really heavy bands, and then my brother, who's the vocalist of the band, he listens to a lot of pop punk music, and then he also listens to a lot of heavier stuff like I do, even some folk music. And so, I mean, we all have a lot of influences that we bring to the table, so we kind of that's just kind of how it came out, I guess. We like utilizing electronics and stuff like that in our music because it kind of helps accent the music and make it a little bit more interesting to listen to. And then, the chords and all that, the big sounding chords, that's stemming from a little bit of Deftones influence. So yeah, we kind of just like to blend stuff together, makes it more fun.
Oh yeah, but your guitar players, Drew Guerrero and Adam Garcia, really bring great riffs in there. They have a really cool double axe attack there. It kind of reminds me of stuff from Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. Is like old school metal also kind of like your influences, because you know they're forefathers for us all in the metal world.
Yeah, I'm not. We don't listen to a ton of like older stuff. I know that Drew is a big Metallica fan. He knows I feel like he knows everything about them. He has like all their albums and stuff like that, and he's a big Metallica fan, and I listen to more kind of like the hair metal kind of stuff, like
glam metal, basically.
Yeah, like Motley Crue and a little bit of Aerosmith and Poison and all that kind of stuff. So we do listen to a little bit older stuff, but it's not something that would be a major influence on our stuff. But it's definitely stuff that we do listen to. So I'm sure it comes out in some way in our music.
So you go more for the new school sound than the old school sound, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. New school is actually a pretty good way to go these days. And you guys are definitely in an era where not many people are like going out and buying metal CDs, let alone singles from like iTunes or whatnot. I mean, how do you feel being in that kind of landscape in the music industry today compared to where it was back in the 80s?
It's interesting. I was born in '91, so I wasn't around for much of the big booming as far as CD sales go and stuff like that, especially for metal music. But it's tough, man. There's a lot of people illegally downloading music now, and while it's a great outlet for bands to get their music out there, it also takes away from the amount of money the band can make and and it doesn't help them, get stuff that they need, and they pretty much get most of the money that bands make comes from touring now instead of CD sales. Whereas before, when Metallica was selling, millions of records, they could make money off their records. But nowadays, it's normal for a decent sized metal or hardcore band to sell anywhere from, I don't know, I want to say 7,000 to 14,000 copies first week, and that's like an accomplishment now. So it's changed a lot. So it makes it a little bit more difficult, and especially with the volume of bands that there are now. The competition is very fierce this day and age.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's funny how you talked about like more bands are touring to make more money, because the groups that I have interviewed in the past for SRO have all said the same thing. How much touring have you guys done from when you guys started to today?
We haven't been able to do a lot of touring. We actually had we've tried to book a tour now 3 different times, and something happened somewhere along the line, whether it was our band breaking down or the promoter not coming through with the shows or something like that. But I mean, we played some shows out of state. We've played California, played Santa Ana, we've played Los Angeles, we've played Mountain View, California, and we played those areas a couple times, and then now we've played in Phoenix. So we're slowly broadening our shows to get out of state more, because we've played plenty over here in Vegas, and so we definitely, the next step is to get out more, and so that's what we're trying to do at this point.
Hey, have you guys played a venue down in Vegas called Dead Man's Hand? It's a new rock and roll bar that was founded by Scott Ian of Anthrax and Jerry Cantrell of Alice in Chains. You guys played there yet?
I have not actually heard of that.
Yeah, it's a relatively new place. I think it just opened this year, and it's just down the road from the Mandalay Bay. And next time I go down to Vegas, I'm definitely going to check it out. And I think that's a good place for you guys to play.
That sounds like something that would be cool.
Yeah, it's like a...
I saw Anthrax back in, was that 2012 at Mayhem Festival. Put on a killer show.
Oh, wow. That was during Worship Music, which is by far one of the best albums of 2011.
Yeah, the fact that they're still able to bring the amount of people that they do to shows is pretty amazing, I think.
Oh yeah, same with like Overkill, because I just did an interview with Bobby Blitz, and their album that just came out last week, White Devil Armory, just went number 33 or 31, I think, on the Billboard charts, and that's like the highest that they have gotten in their entire in their 30-year career. It's amazing that they're drawing more crowds in than they did in the 80s. I'm sure they had great crowds, but I think more people are coming in today than ever.
Yeah, see, that's a rarity nowadays. If you're most bands that are from the 80s and even the early 90s either don't exist anymore, and they don't draw enough people to where they can't make any money from music anymore, so they stop.
Or they're just reduced to a club band.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So tell me, We Gave It Hell. Where did that come from? That's an interesting name.
Yeah, it kind of came from a couple things. I mean, the story is we started the band under a different name, and that name was it's a little bit of a mouthful, but it's Apatura Iris is what we were originally called, and we played a couple shows under that name, and we got sick of people mispronouncing it and asking what it meant, and then we'd have to explain it over and over and over, and it's a species of butterfly that feeds on dead people, is what we found out, and it's like this, it's a really cool looking black and like purple and white butterfly. It looks really cool, and we thought it looked cool, and we thought what it represents was really weird, and we were all for it, but we just grew sick of it, and so our second vocalist, or our third vocalist, our current vocalist now, a little bit of background, is our fourth vocalist, my brother. So when our third vocalist came in, we kind of all talked about changing the name just because we were so sick of everyone. Like I said, we were so sick of everyone asking about what it meant, so we just thought of all these different names, and we didn't like anything we were coming up with, and then one day, 36 Crazy Fists, and they have a song called We Gave It Hell, and we felt that also kind of symbolized our members. So our old singer's name was Darren, and then Drew, our guitar player in the band, because they're older, Drew's 28, and Darren was around the same age, so they were kind of saying how it was kind of like a symbolism that they've given music health kind of thing. So it was a combination of that mixed with the song name from 36 Crazy Fists, and so we felt it was short, sweet, to the point. It was catchy, and it's easy to remember. Now we don't have to explain what our name means anymore, so it kind of makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, well, I think We Gave It Hell is an excellent name for a metalcore group.
Yeah, thank you. We like it too. I actually, to be honest, I hated it when we first got it, but over the years I've grown to really like it. So. Well,
I'm pretty sure Steven Tyler wasn't a great big fan of Aerosmith, but it stuck with them, and now everybody knows the name.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of looked at it this way. There's so many ridiculous band names, but they sound cool. Like, let's see, I'm trying to think of a name.
Well, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example really quick.
Like the name Korn, like the band Korn, who I'm a huge fan of. Like that to me is like, if somebody said we should name our band Korn, I'd be like, you're stupid. That's a really dumb band name. But I mean, it works, and they're a huge band, and now Korn. When I say Korn, I don't mean like the food. I mean the band. So it's just the name. We kind of thought the name doesn't really matter that much. It's more about the music. If your music is good, you can make any name sound good, really.
Oh, definitely. Let me give you an example really quick of what you were talking about as well. You've obviously heard of Sammy Hagar's new group, Chickenfoot, right?
Actually, I don't think I have.
Oh, well, this is like his new group it's a super group he created with Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Joe Satriani on guitars, and he brought in Van Halen bassist Michael Anthony.
I think I did hear about that, actually. That sounds more familiar.
Yeah, and what happened was they were just jamming. They were just saying, what's this called? So Chickenfoot for right now, kind of like a temporary name because they were going to think of something cool. But then they started to think about it, and they realized, you know what? Chickenfoot actually sounds pretty dope, and they decided to stick with it. So it's kind of funny how a band name that people didn't really like, the original band members didn't like, but then it just grows on them.
Yeah, it's weird how that works.
Yeah.
It really does have to grow on you. I remember I saw an interview with Dave Grohl, and he was saying how Foo Fighters is like the dumbest band name ever, but it works for them. And he says he still thinks it's one of the most ridiculous band names, but Foo Fighters is huge, so having that name didn't really have any effect on it.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's talk about the album, The Conditioning. I was listening through it, and you got some really cool tracks on here. My favorite track, I would have to say, is track number 3, Change. I love how you guys incorporated the piano sound with your, just balls to the walls metalcore sound. Explain how the piano came into the process.
How that song came into the process?
Yeah, because you guys had like a piano in there, I think, and I'm kind of curious why'd you guys include that?
Well, it was we kind of wanted to. We're all about being diverse and really not having any songs sound the same on our stuff. So we thought the majority of the album is pretty heavy, so we kind of wanted to write something that was more, not so much softer, just something that was kind of almost a 180 from what the rest of the album is, and that's really what we wanted to do. And we're all about, we love catchy hooks and choruses and all that kind of stuff, so we felt that was a good song to incorporate that kind of thing into. So, I mean, that's really how the song came together. It's just us wanting to do something that was a little bit different from the rest of the CD.
Yeah, and even when you added the piano in there, it was still a pretty heavy sound. And I thought it really worked well with what you guys were trying to go for, trying to put in another style with the style that you already had, and I thought it worked well to your advantage.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's one of my favorite songs to listen to as well. We actually have not played that one live yet, but I'm sure we will sometime in the near future.
Well, you know what? If you guys come to L.A. or Anaheim, and that's where I live, and I see you there, I'm going to shout out, "Play the Change!"
Yeah, go for it. Maybe we'll have it. Maybe we'll have it ready by then.
Yeah, hopefully you will. Maybe you'll do it as an encore. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe we could.
Yeah. Now your brother Taylor, who is the vocalist, like you said, wrote the lyrics for these songs. Where does all the inspiration come from for writing the lyrics? Like, where does he get all these ideas?
He kind of takes them from everything. He writes. I mean, I'll give you an example. Aries is about the god of war. That's why it's called that. It's just about that really, and chaos and all that. And whereas something like the conditioning is more about not kind of just doing your own thing and not doing what everyone else is doing, and then I mean, Holy Scam has a lot to do with religion, and so he kind of takes it from everything. It's really just what he's feeling at the time when we sit down to start recording vocals on a song, because he usually just does lyrics on the fly. We'll go in the studio and he'll just sit down and start writing from there, and it seems to work that way. I don't know how he does that, because I definitely couldn't do that, but as soon as we get in the studio, we'll start playing the song over and over so he can get the feel for it, and then from there he writes it. He writes the lyrics, so he takes influences from all over the place.
Yeah, I understand where he's coming from, because I'm also a lyricist. I write a lot of lyrics from my old band, and whatever I'm feeling that day, I just write it down, and it could be about anything for me personally. So I understand where he's coming from. So, he just hears a song, and just the lyrics come to him.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it happens.
Yeah. Well, you guys have been playing at a bunch of festivals, because I've been reading your PR release here, and you guys were part of the All-Stars tour, and I think we talked about that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, just said that it was really hot and sweaty.
Well, it was in Arizona, so that's understandable.
Yeah.
And I read here that you guys actually played a date at the Mayhem Festival. Where was that? In Vegas?
No, that was actually in Mountain View, California. We got to do that. That was last summer that we did that.
Oh, so you got to be on the same set with Five Finger Death Punch and Amon Amarth. That was pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. We were on the Sumerian stage, so the way that Mayhem normally is set up, they have, at least in 2013, was they had the two main stages, and then the Sumerian stage was kind of in the same area, just kind of across the way from the main stages. But where we played in Mountain View at the Shoreline Amphitheater, they actually had a stage for us that was built already, but it was not in the main area, so we were kind of nervous that nobody was going to come and watch us. But we ended up having, I want to say, somewhere around the ballpark of 200 or 300 people watching us. So it was really cool. We got good crowd response. We sold a lot of CDs that day, and kind of felt like rock stars for the day, which was cool.
Yeah, for a big metal festival like that, if you're able to get that many people over there to listen to you for 30 minutes, however long the set is, that's quite an accomplishment for a small band. So I have to say congratulations on that front.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it also helped that before we played, we walked around and we had our friend who was really drunk scream our name and say what time we were playing and walk up to random people because he really didn't care. And we walked around forever just telling people what time we played, where we played, and it ended up working in our favor because a lot of people showed up. And it was weird because as soon as we started playing, a pit broke out in the center, so that was cool as well. Yeah, it was a really fun day. We got to play with bands that we played with before, Born of Osiris and Motionless in White. We had just played with a few months prior at the local festival we have here called Extreme Thing, where we played on the main stage with them.
All right. We talked a little earlier about you guys trying to get a tour going, but it somehow fell through about 3 times. Is there a band in particular that you would love to tour with in the future?
It
could be a small
really
band.
Big fans of Architects. They're a band from the UK. So probably them, and I mean, obviously touring with Deftones would be amazing. But I don't know if that'll happen. But yeah, them, Architects, and then I'm trying to think of who else we would probably love to tour with. Yeah, I mean that's those are probably the two major ones. I mean, Bring the Horizon would obviously be very cool as well. We just want to get out of here. Doesn't matter who it's with, but those would be the few bands that we would love to play with.
Yeah, well, there's one band that I think you should play with. I think you should definitely play with this band that from a group of friends that I know from Orange County called Beneath the Buried. You probably never heard of them. They're like a big metal act right now in Orange County, and they are dying to get out of state as well. So if you ever get in touch with each other somehow, you should definitely try to get a little Southwest tour going.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome because we're just looking to get out of here more. So.
Well, that's every band's dream to get out of their home state for a little bit.
What'd you say?
I said that's every band's dream, to get out of their home state for a little bit so they can spread the music.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we are trying to do. And it should be happening hopefully in October, maybe November. We're just trying to figure out the details on that and when's the best time for us to go and stuff like that. So it's in the works. It's just hasn't happened yet, or we haven't been able to plan anything yet. So we're just trying to figure out what works best for our schedules.
Well, that's excellent. If you ever need like certain locations to come to, if you want to come down to Southern California, call me up, and I could definitely let you know of a few venues that you definitely give a call to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah. Well, we got time for about 3 more questions. Here's one that I'm kind of interested in. Which musicians influenced you as a drummer?
There's actually a few, I would have to say. One of the big ones, actually, believe it or not, is his name's Daniel Adair. He's the drummer from Nickelback. He was a big influence on me starting originally. And then, let's see, who else? The Rev from Avenged Sevenfold was also somebody who I really looked up to.
Of course.
And one of the newer drummers that I'm influenced by is a guy by the name of Matt Halpern. He's a drummer in a band called Periphery. And a fourth one is the drummer from his name's Chad. He's from Breaking Benjamin. He's also another big influence of mine. So I kind of take influences from all over the place.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you don't stick with one particular type of genre. You like influence yourself with any kind of drummer if they have a good groove and everything.
Oh yeah. I love like groovy kind of stuff, and all the drummers that I have that I said have that groove. They have that groove down perfectly. So that's really where that all comes from.
Cool. Hey, you guys, we gave it hell. You just put out this EP. Is there a chance that we can look forward to a full-length album sometime in the next 2 or 3 years? Because I know you're going to be focusing on promoting this particular masterpiece.
Yeah. We have a single that's in the works right now. We have it all. It's all recorded. It's pretty much ready to go. We just have to, we're sending it off to, he's the drummer of this band called Viljarda. They're from, I forgot where they're from, but it's somewhere overseas. And we're going to send it to him for mixing and mastering, and then once that's done, we'll have it out not too long after that. So we're hoping to maybe send it off to him by the end of next week, and then maybe a month after that it'll be out. So it shouldn't be too much longer. But as far as full length, we haven't really talked about it. We're not really sure if we're going to do another EP or if we're going to try and shoot for a full length. We're not really sure what we want to do. We have Drew has so many songs written, so we just kind of play things by ear right now. The main thing we're trying to do is obviously the touring. So that's kind of our main focus at this point.
Well, yeah, obviously, and like I said, and I'll keep pushing this. I want to see you guys either in LA or Orange County because I am looking forward to hearing you live.
Thank you, man. Yeah, we'd love to come play out there again. We love playing California.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't believe it, but we do have a good crowd of metalheads who are dying to hear some new metal bands, and I would definitely promote you.
That sounds like fun. We can't wait to get back out in California and play some more shows.
All right, and for our final question, I always kind of like to ask this of my interviewees, just try to keep things a little interesting, a little fun. It's kind of out of the ordinary, so here it is.
I'm all about weird, so give it to me.
Okay. And it's a music question, so Beatles or Rolling Stones?
Beatles.
Oh wow, a lot of metalheads always go for the Rolling Stones.
I like the Rolling Stones, but I definitely listen to the Beatles more than the Rolling Stones. I have to thank my mom for that. She's the one that is a kind of a Beatle maniac. She used to have all their vinyls and everything. So she's a huge Paul McCartney fan. So she's the one that got me into the Beatles, actually.
Yeah, I had to thank my mom too. She got me into the Beatles, but she wasn't really into them and like after Yellow Submarine when they got all psychedelic and drugged out. And that's when I thought that was my favorite period because that's where they got real creative.
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like that's when they got better.
Yeah, I mean, and many metal artists probably wouldn't know this or probably acknowledge it for the fact, but you know that song Revolution that they did?
Yeah.
If you listen to it in the beginning with that guitar riff, John Lennon screeches out the ah in there. That was like the first time that anybody's really like screamed out the vocals in a band anyway. So if anything, he kind of opened the door for an idea of a new sound.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Beatles you have to give a lot of credit to the Beatles no matter what kind of band you're in for really shaping kind of the direction that rock and roll was going in. They took it to another level, especially as far as the writing style goes and how weird that they would write and the songs that they'd come up with because it was completely different from anything that was being written back then. So, I mean, no matter what kind of a musician you are or what kind of music you play, you have to give some influence to the Beatles for kind of being the segue to a plethora of genres.
Oh yeah, I mean, The Walrus, hello, that was an unusual song and it worked.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, all of their songs had some sort of different quality about them that just set them apart from everything else.
Okay, well, we are just about out of time. Parker, thank you very much for taking time to speak with SRO, and we are definitely looking forward to hearing some more from We Gave It Hell.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. I appreciate your time.
No problem. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to pick up We Gave It Hell's newest EP release, The Conditioning. So if you're really into the Deftones or Bullet for My Valentine, if you really like that melody, metalcore sound, We Gave It Hell is definitely the band for you. And I also want to thank Blank TV for pointing us in your direction. Without them, I probably wouldn't know who you were. So I got to give it to them as well. So Parker, again, thank you very much. You keep on rocking, and we will definitely look forward to seeing you back in California. You make sure you drop me a line so I can come see you.
Oh, we will do, man. Thank you a lot again for the interview, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, hey, before you go, why don't you give a quick shout-out to SRO. Give them a rock and roll shout-out.
This is Parker from We Gave It Hell, and you're listening to an interview from SRO Magazine.
Thank you very much, Parker, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
All right, see you around, man. Thank you.
No problem. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
For more information on all the greatest bands in rock today, and for all your music and entertainment news, you know where to go. Go to SRO. That's SROMagInc.com. SRO Magazine is sponsored by Kick-Ass Cables, PhDRadio.com, Robert's Guitar, TDLMusicGroup.com. The SRO audio and video was done by Carson Drive Studios and SROMagInc.com.